It is time to sharpen your swords because we're diving headfirst into the glorious, legendary, and utterly unforgettable world of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. Our game begins in an imperial prison with our cell neighbour to keep us company.
Your own kinsmen think you're a piece of human trash. How sad.
That is until the Emperor himself enters into our cell.
You are the one from my dreams.
Assassins have attacked the Emperor's heirs, and the main man himself is next, which would end the Septim bloodline. The title of Emperor is given to the head of state to govern the majority or even all of Tamriel. One of the hallmarks of the Emperor is the Amulet of Kings, which can only be worn by those with dragon blood, as it was created by one of the deities of Elder Scrolls, Akatosh, which you may have seen before if you have ever played a certain game over the past 15 years. Through coincidence or sheer fate, the secret escape is through our jail cell. To fill the shoes of the Emperor, the legendary Sir Patrick Stewart plays Uriel Septim VII.
You motherfucker are gonna kill all my lilies!
In making of the Oblivion, Todd gives us this amazing story.
It's good. Ken had written a bunch of notes for Patrick Stewart on the character, very, very long, referencing things Stewart had done before. Here sends to Patrick, and Patrick came in and said, I got the notes on the character, and I was sort of like, and he's like, never in my life doing any role have I gotten such detailed notes, and I loved it. I am really intrigued. This sounds really cool. You guys have given this a lot of thought. I can't wait to do it.
I am so excited to have a game with Sir Patrick Stewart. It's going to be an awesome run. What do you mean he dies in the tutorial of the game?
I don't have a picture of my wife in my wallet right now, but I've got Patrick Stewart in my wallet. So there's no better actor as far as I'm concerned. See, my wife will not be happy, but I have a Patrick Stewart picture in my wallet.
Prior to the Emperor's assassination, the Amulet of Kings was given us to find his illegitimate child. This child's upbringing was overseen by a man named Joffrey, who we are tasked to find. Approaching the end of the sewers, I unlocked Escape the Imperial Sewers, as we see just how much Unreal 5 has increased the graphics. Speaking to Joffrey, we hand over the Amulet of Kings for him to protect. In exchange, we receive information on the illegitimate child, who is named Martin, who serves Akatosh in the Chapel of Kvatch. Unfortunately, the entrance to Kvatch is blocked by our very first Oblivion gate. Oblivion is the term used for the various realms of the Daedric princes in Elder Scrolls. In this game, the realm of the Daedric prince, Mehrunes Dagon, threatens Tamriel. 1,000 years ago, Mehrunes Dagon actually attempted to invade Tamriel in Elder Scrolls Online, but that is a story for another day. Entering into the Gate of Oblivion, we find the Anakin Skywalker Easter egg.
It was said that you would destroy this Sith, not join them! Bring balance to the Force!
Our navigation of the Hellscape operates pretty smoothly as we speedrun into the Daedric Tower, fight against any enemies that presents themselves, and take the Sigil Stone, which sees the gate close on itself, teleporting us outside and unlocking closed and Oblivion Gate. Storming into Kvatch, we have to reclaim the decimated city. Defeating the final scamp, we find the Count has been killed. We inform the Imperial Captain of the Kvatch Guard, who tells us the location of Martin as a reward. Utilizing the information we received, we find Brother Martin.
Emperor Uriel Septim? You think the Emperor is my father? No, you must have the wrong man. I am a priest of Akatosh. My father was a farmer.
Did you catch it?
Winter is coming.
One does not simply walk into Oblivion. Sean Bean, playing Brother Martin, is understandably shocked that we tell him he is the chosen one. The only reason why he agrees to come with us is because we saved Kvatch. Returning to Joffrey, we discover the Mythic Dawn, which is the cult that worships Mehrunes Dagon, has attacked, seeking the Amulet of Kings. When going to Joffrey's secret hiding spot, we unsurprisingly discover that the Amulet of Kings has been taken. This triggers us to move Martin to a safe location. We arrive at the Cloud Ruler Temple, which we see Martin give a speech to the Emperor's bodyguards, known as the Blades. Once the hailing of Emperor Martin has finished, our full focus returns to reclaiming the Amulet of Kings, which Martin can use to stop the Oblivion invasion. We speak to Joffrey, who welcomes us into the Blades. This is required as the faction isn't just being a bodyguard, it's about being a spy.
The D16 Ascender, and up we go.
Are you sure that's the Ascender, sir?
Yes, I know it anyway.
Agent in distress. Agent in distress.
What unfolds is a devious plot that sees us ascertaining 4 books which will lead us to the cult's hideout. The books lead us to a gravestone, and once we interact with it, I unlock located the Shrine of Dagon, as the marketing for the hiding place is not very well hidden at all. Travelling to the cult's hideout sees us joining their ranks and becoming an imposter. The person preaching is Mankar Cameron. He is the founder and leader of the cult, who just so happens to have the Amulet of Kings, prior to summoning a portal and escaping to its paradise. To join the cult, we are called upon to slay an innocent so that their blood will fuel our entry. Instead, our attention turns to the text which was left on the altar, which is the Mysterium Exarxes, a divine book written by the Daedric prince, Mehrunes Dagon himself. In order to steal the book, we need to be sneaky. Escaping the cult, we reunite with Martin, who has an interesting reaction to our book.
By the 9, such a thing is dangerous even to handle.
Once Martin has calmed himself, he suggests the text contains the key to summon the same portal to the paradise we saw from earlier. After a quick side plot dealing with spies, Martin deciphers that there are 4 items required to summon the portal. The first being a Daedric artifact, the second, blood of the divines. Third is a great Welkin stone, and finally, a great sigil stone. To complete the first step, I start Azura's Daedric quest. This quest involved slaying Azura's followers that sadly have turned into vampires. Returning to Azura, she grants us her star. We don't hold possession for long as we pass it on to Martin, unlocking Delivered Daedric artifact. Next step on the old to-do list was to dispel an ancient enchantment which enables us to snag the armor of Tiber Septim, who was the first emperor of the Septim bloodline. Also, he was a Dragonborn.
Their tongue is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
Martin doesn't actually need the armor per se, he just needs a scraping of the divine blood. Our third item on the list is the Great Welken Stone, which thankfully was pretty easy to find. That is, until a zombified king appears behind us, which we thankfully take care of. Prior to returning to Martin, we investigated Bruma, which is seen as a target for the Daedra. We then went to every single city to seek reinforcements for Bruma. Each of the leaders would love to send reinforcements, but they're all preoccupied with their own Oblivion gate, which is causing them trouble. This would make me clear out and close all 6 of the Oblivion gates, enabling Bruma to receive the much needed reinforcements. Returning to Martin, we see he's dripped out in his new wares. The final item for the ritual is the counterpart to the Great Welken Stone, a Great Sigil Stone. This can only be obtained by Great Gates, which are summoned after we fail to close 3 Oblivion gates. A Great Gate will then summon, which will enable us to harvest the Great Sigil Stone. When arriving at the battlefield, Martin gives us one of the greatest speeches in gaming.
Soldiers of Cyrodiil, the Empire will stand or fall by what we do here today. Will we let the Daedra do to Bruma what they did to Kvatch? Will we let them burn our homes? Will we let them kill our families? No! We make our stand here, today, for the whole of Cyrodiil. We must hold fast until the hero of Kvatch can destroy their great gate. We must kill whatever comes out of that gate. Soldiers of Cyrodiil, do you stand with me?
Filled to the brim with inspiration, the Daedra storm into battle and a second Oblivion gate opens. After surviving a minute of onslaught, the third and final gate opens. This then opens the path for the Great Gate to spawn in all of its fierce glory. We have to urgently enter as we only have 15 minutes to close the gate, or else the Daedric siege engine will enter the Cyrodiil, dooming the world forever. Thankfully, the Great Gate works exactly the same as every other Oblivion gate I have defeated. This sees me easily take the Great Sigil Stone and then get teleported outside. We observe the Daedric siege engine get shut down, and as a reward we unlock Destroyed the Great Gate. With everything in place for the ritual, Martin summons the portal to Paradise. We are given an escort to Mankar Cameron, and we can confirm a visual on the Amulet of Kings. Cameron begins on a long tangent which is incredibly boring.
Boring!
So we give him a good bonk and reclaim the amulet. We are able to deliver the amulet to Martin, who puts it on, signifying the return of the Emperor. We depart and arrive at the Imperial City to present Martin's credentials as the rightful Emperor, until suddenly the Daedra attack. Things are severe as the barriers between Oblivion and Tamriel have been destroyed and Mehrunes Dagon himself has arrived. Making it to the Dragonfire in the Temple of the One, Martin says his goodbyes, as his last hope for Tamriel is for him to unlock the power of the Amulet of Kings and release the power of Akatosh. Martin has become the avatar of Akatosh, and it's at this moment that I knew we were never the main character. It has and always will be Martin Septim. Martin has now banished Dagon back into Oblivion, and with him the whole of the Daedric forces of destruction. Our friend gives us one last look before roaring into the sky and being immortalized as a statue in the temple. Merging with Akatosh consumed both Martin himself and the Amulet of Kings. This act rendered the Dragonfires and the Septim bloodline redundant, leaving Tamriel without the need of the institution of the Empire. This unlocks Champion of Cyrodiil, as we have officially completed the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. Surprisingly, we have only unlocked 6 trophies, meaning we still need 55 trophies. It's time to lock in. Our next calling will be that of the arena. Speaking to Owen, who is the Blade Master of the arena, we agree to battle, which unlocks Pit Dog. What occurs in this questline is 3 fights, which was super easy as we were playing on novice difficulty. When speaking to the Blade Master, we rank up to Brawler. To level up, we did the same as the rank before, which unlocked Bloodletter. In this stage, we will continue to level up, unlocking Myrmidon, Warrior, Gladiator, Hero, and Champion. To receive our final promotion, we must issue a challenge to the Grand Champion. The fight was surprising, only due to the fact that we didn't end it in one hit like with all the others. When the Grand Champion goes down, the crowd goes mid, and we unlock Grand Champion. Our next faction is the Fighters Guild, which we unlock Associate for agreeing to sign up to the guild. Our first quest was being a porter, delivering weapons to the higher ranking members. We then went to exterminate the goblins out of the cave. This made me feel like I was Jim Woo from Solo Leveling, noting the suppression of power. When handing in the quest, I was promoted to Apprentice. We would continue helping citizens, which unlocked Journeyman. In the next quest, we informed about the Blackwood Company. This faction would slowly be explored in the Fighters Guild questline, as we were promoted to Swordsman, Protector, Defender, Warder, Guardian, and Champion. The final promotional questline sees us joining the Blackwood Company as an imposter. This, of course, would end in bloodshed. This would see the Guildmaster resign, as we were promoted to Master of the Guild, unlocking Guildmaster. Now I had intended to complete the Mages Guild questline as I unlocked Associate. However, one of the quests required me to sleep, which naturally seems very innocent. Until I wake up as a vampire by a hooded man in the shadows. This is Lucien LeChance, who is the speaker for the Dark Brotherhood. Lucien only reveals to those who have taken an innocent person's life. So whilst I was protecting my emperor, one of the guards was caught in the crossfire, which leads us to where we are now. Our first quest is to murder an assigned target. Simple enough. Lucien then welcomes us to the family.
Welcome to the family, son.
And we unlock Murderer. The Dark Brotherhood quests are so much fun, as we're able to kill the assigned targets in really fun situations. The only annoying part is now that I'm a vampire, I now take damage from the sun, which often led to deaths all throughout my remaining playthrough.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
During this stage, we unlocked Slayer, Eliminator, and Assassin. We then reunite with Lucien, who reveals he serves someone higher than the Dark Brotherhood. He serves the Black Hand. And the Black Hand has learnt that a traitor has infiltrated the ranks of the Dark Brotherhood. Thus, we are tasked with the unthinkable, slaying every single one of my comrades from the Dark Brotherhood. And our reward in doing so is unlocking Silencer. What occurs next is 7 assassination targets given in really obscure drops, but on the 7th target, things take a turn for the strange. After eliminating the target, Lucien arrives and starts shouting at us, as he hoped he could have stopped us. What actually caught me by surprise was someone from the Black Hand switched out the target drops with members of the Black Hand. The situation is dire, as the other members will also believe Lucien is the traitor. We then uncover the traitor's hideout and collect their diary, which will prove Lucien's innocence. When arriving to Lucien, sadly we were too late, as the other members killed him under the belief he was the traitor. This in turn means we have a job opening at the speaker position, which we are promptly promoted into, unlocking Speaker. The very next quest outs the traitor, which we were able to swiftly eliminate. With only one other Black Hand member remaining, we are promoted to Listener, to lead the rebuilding of the Dark Brotherhood. That rebuild won't be today, as we return to the Mage Guild questline, which sadly is an absolute snooze fest I found.
Boring!
What I was hoping for was wizardry on next level proportions. However, what ends up happening is a questline similar to the Adventure Time episode, simply known as Wizard. What ends up happening in this episode is Finn and Jake must perform mundane tasks such as eating a broom to slowly unlock new magical powers. This is similar to this questline, as you are much more of an errand boy as opposed to a wizard. This is of course until the final mission, where you're put face to face with Manimarco, the King of Worms. The very same Manimarco that Elder Scrolls Online players defeated 1,000 years ago has now returned as a big baddie for this questline, although the years haven't aged him well. After one quick slash, we defeat the King of Worms. And in this step, we unlocked Apprentice, Journeyman, Evoker, Conjurer, Magician, Warlock, Wizard, Master Wizard, and Archmage. Our final faction is the Thieves Guild. As per usual, we unlocked a trophy when we join, which is Pickpocket, and we slowly are promoted, unlocking Footpad, Bandit, Prowler, Cat Burglar, Shadowfoot, and Master Thief. This rank is significant as we meet the infamous Grey Fox.
Grey Fox!
The final quest is one of the longest and arguably the best in the game. To put it simple, we need to infiltrate the Imperial City to steal an Elder Scroll. The infiltration is elaborate, as you enter through the sewer network, which enables you to utilize an arrow of extraction, which opens a secret path. We then just had to keep playing safe, until I infiltrate the Elder Scrolls library, where blind moth priests mistaken me for a different person, and we are straight up handed the Elder Scroll. Successfully escaping sees us hand over the Elder Scroll to Grey Fox, but he has one last task for us. We hand over a ring to a countess, and she says it belongs to her missing husband, but she doesn't remember his name or face. That is where Grey Fox appears, and he tells a story where he inherited the infamous cowl from the previous guildmaster of the Thieves Guild. Each person who donned the cowl would be erased from history and the memories of everyone who knew them. That is why the Elder Scroll was so important, as he used it to break the power of the curse. Now with no cowl, Grey Fox promotes us to the leader of the Thieves Guild as we unlock Guildmaster and the Platinum Worldly God. Our final journey today is at the Shivering Isles DLC, which some have called the best Elder Scrolls DLC of all time. To make it to the Shivering Isles, we need to travel through
the Nether.
Traveling through the portal sees us speaking to Haskell, who is the assistant to the Daedric Prince of Madness. We accept Haskell's invitation to enter the Shivering Isles, which unlocks Terrorist. And just as we were being teleported, I died due to the sunlight present in the cutscene.
Wait a minute, let me do that one again.
Our second attempt goes much more smoothly, as we're able to see the start of our journey in this mysterious land. We make our way to the palace, which houses Sheogorath, who is looking for a champion who can defeat the Grey March, which is an event where a different Daedric prince attempts to invade the Shivering Isles. When the conversation ends, I unlock Aspirant. Our first quest sees us becoming a dungeon master, which sees us activating a series of traps to ward off unsuspecting adventurers. Once completed, I unlocked Citizen. I report my outcomes and the Daedric Prince is quite happy.
Wonderful! Time for a celebration! Cheese for everyone!
The Daedric Prince then tasks us with familiarizing ourselves with his courts. We complete a quest for the Duke of Mania, which is pretty okay. But the great quest is with the Duchess of Mania. Her quest involves working with an absolute Chad called Herdia. Herdia has the powers to shock anyone who I command him to, which makes me feel very powerful. Once both courts are friendly with me, I unlock Madman. This is where the Daedric Prince of Madness expresses his desire to make the hero of Kavach a Daedric Prince. We then light a flame for Mania, which has the benefit of also unlocking Honoured Madman. We receive a clap from the prince, and before you talk to him, absolutely make sure you make a save, as the next step involves seeking the trust of the people of the Shivering Isles, and the best way to do that is being appointed a duke. That means either the Duke of Mania or the Duchess of Dementia has to go. In our instance, both will die for the corresponding trophies. First, we killed the Duke of Mania, which unlocked Duke Mania. Then I reload my save, which enables me to kill the Duchess of Dementia. This naturally then unlocks Duke Dementia. The next quest involves slicing Knights of the Order, which reminds me of the Fremen vs Sardaukar. We then speak to a necromancer, who thankfully isn't as weird as the last person who I'd spoken to with necro in their title.
By the way, do you happen to know what the fine is here in Cyrodiil for necrophilia? Just asking.
Is this something you do often?
Let's assume no.
Then it's at least 500 gold.
That's nothing compared to Morrowind.
Sadly, the necromancer isn't happy with us, as I was the one that killed her gatekeeper. To make amends, we pick body parts for a new gatekeeper and perform a ritual to summon our very own creation.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Speaking to Sheogorath, we then unlock Regent. There's then another side mission with nothing notable, but it does unlock Defender, which is our second last trophy of Oblivion. Returning to the palace, Sheogorath has lost his spark, and he had hoped to give us his staff, but sadly it too has lost its magic, because the Daedric Prince of Madness is dead. With Dias' help, we are able to restore the staff of Sheogorath. When dipping the staff into the font of madness, the power doesn't transfer, as it's been poisoned by Jiggalag. As a twist, we find it is actually the Duke of Mania, which we promptly bonked. We then are able to imbue the staff as we gain the power of Sheogorath. This then summons the Daedric Prince of Order, Jiggalag.
But you are no Daedric Prince.
I don't know about anyone else, but I couldn't stop thinking that Jiggalag was a Sauron copy. But anyway, I digress, as we slay the Daedric Prince, unlocking Mad God. Jiggalag's head then appears to say the Grey March has ended, and he is free to explore Oblivion, and we are given the post of being the new Daedric Prince of Madness. Compared to the main story, we are definitely the main character now. With another 100% now in our trophy collection, our journey through Cyrodiil and the Shivering Isles has reached its epic conclusion. We witnessed the fall of an emperor, stood against the forces of Oblivion, navigated the intricate politics of guilds, and ultimately claimed the mantle of a Daedric prince. The hero of Kvatch's story might be at its end, for now at least, but our story continues. And if this video can receive 4,000 likes, I will platinum one of the hardest games of all time, The Elder Scrolls Online. It is now up to you to decide. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you for the next upload.